Happy March and welcome to my February reading wrap up, where today I'm just going to talk about the books that I read in February and a little bit about things I read in January because there's only one thing in January. In the books that I'm currently in the middle of that I just feel like talking about. Starting out with the stuff I was reading in January, I only read one book in January. That was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is usually people's favorite book in ACOTAR. I regret to inform you, although no, I don't regret to inform you. I'm happy to inform you. I liked ACOWAR better. I read ACOWAR in February, read this in January, and I really did enjoy Akamoth, but something about this, it was just hidden better. I thought the plot was a lot more fun in ACOWAR. I thought the characters that I loved that we met in this book, like all of the people in Rice's court, we got to see way more of them here, and we got to see more of Amren. Amren's like one of my favorite characters, so I liked seeing her. Don't get me wrong, I loved the romance in this. I really liked Rice's character specifically in this book, and in ACOTAR, like the first book, I really love Rice. In ACOWAR, I feel like we don't really get a whole lot of Rice, but it still was really fun. I liked the scheming in the first part of the book, and I liked the war. I thought Highborn was a little bit underwhelming. It was kind of how I felt about Amarantha in the first book. I felt like there was so much hype about like how strong she was and how powerful and like what a bad villain she was, and it kind of just like she wasn't the worst antagonist that I've seen. I felt the same way about Highborn in ACOWAR, but I still really loved these books. They're just like really fun. I like the Fae, I like the world, I like the characters. I am not a Nesta hater. I was a Nesta hater in ACOTAR, book 1, but right now I'm really liking her. I like her demeanor, I guess, like which like the way that she carries herself, just like very stoic and like silent. I like that. It seems like very mysterious and powerful, and I'm so excited to see what we see of her in Court of Silver Flames, which I'm in the middle of A Court of Frost and Starlight. I am halfway through this. It's a little boring, not gonna lie. I was really excited for this because when I see the word Starlight, I'm thinking about that scene in the first book where Feyre and Tamlin are like in their little starlight pond, and she has like this really great feeling. I was thinking they're gonna bottle that feeling, right? Sarah J. Maas has that feeling in her hand, and she's going to write about it for 200 pages in a novella, and not with Tamlin, but with like the gang. But I'm not really feeling that, which is okay. Yeah, it's definitely like my least favorite one out of the books that we've read so far. I mean, the books that I've read so far in the series, but I still have half of the book to go. Maybe it'll be better later on. I'm still like, no matter how that goes, A Court of Silver Flames is like 100% I'm gonna read that because I really want to see Nesta and Cassian's relationship. I love Cassian, I love Nesta. I'm super excited. The second actual book that I read in February was Stalking Jack the Ripper. I also really enjoyed this book. I thought it was so much fun. I annotated quite a bit out of it. Let's see. I do have tabs, but I just don't have systems that I really like to use with my tabs, so I feel like I just don't really know what to tab, and I just tab random things, and so I just kind of like write in my pages, and I don't really care like to like mark where they are. But yeah, I thought this was just a really fun book. Like I really enjoyed all of our characters. I guess our main character like slightly annoyed me some of the time, but like significantly less than a lot of other main characters have annoyed me. And I thought she was pretty funny. I thought Thomas was so funny. Like when I heard about this book, I just heard that banter was really good, and usually people say banter is really good in books, and I cringe throughout a lot of it. I think the setting and the like creepy vibe of it like counteracted the cringe enough for me to like get lost in it and like let go of the cringe, because I feel like sometimes when I just read like a regular like romance novel that's just set in the real world, I can't let go of the cringe. But when it's like something kind of fantastical and like in a different place, all the creepy vibes of like the morgue and stuff. Like it's easier for me to get wrapped up in it and just let it go and like let the romance like be romantic. I've also seen reviews saying that like the mystery was super obvious. I agree. It was very obvious. I guessed it as soon as I don't know, I don't know how to say this without spoiling. It takes a turn where they're kind of like super focused on somebody, and I was like, I know exactly who it is, and it was exactly that person. But it didn't take away from the experience that I had reading this book. Like, I still had a lot of fun, even though I knew who the Ripper was, and I'm still gonna continue. I'm so excited to read the second one. I have it, and I have my audiobook. Like, my audiobook came in on Libby, and that one's Hunting Prince Dracula. My boyfriend recently read Dracula and gave me a play-by-play for like every single chapter, so I feel like I know enough about Dracula that I can pick up a lot of the little references. Like, there was just a short little introduction at the end of this book to Hunting Prince Dracula, and there was like a really short thing about how she saw wolves outside of the train window, and I was like, wolves, that's a sign of Dracula. So I'm just so excited for that because I really like Dracula. I do want to read Dracula eventually as well. It's not on my like immediate TBR because I have so many series I'm in the middle of and that I want to get to, and Dracula will always be there. It'll always be there. Moving on, I have 2 graphic novels that I read in February. The first one, okay, well, let me tell you a little bit of something first. I got Kindle Unlimited in February. That was the best decision of my life. I'm still on my 2-month free trial, but when it expires, I'm 100% renewing it because it's just so fun. Like, just looking through the library that they have and like selecting books that I want to put on my TBR and like getting to look at the samples, and especially for graphic novels, like I got my iPad this year for Christmas, and well, I guess last year for Christmas, and I've been using it for the past 2 months. And reading graphic novels, I've never been a graphic novel person, but like reading them on my iPad has like literally changed the way that I see them, and I really enjoy it now. So the first, where do I get to the beginning? The first graphic novel that I read in February was The Tea Dragon Society. And come on, just look at how freaking cute the art is. Like, I can't get over it. Those are like our 4 main characters that we see. It's just so stinking cute and special. I was kind of sad when I picked this book up and the art just was like so cozy, and I really loved the color scheme of it, and I loved that it was like a brown main character who like I felt like kind of looked like me, so that made me happy too. Like, she's so adorable right there. And the story was really cute. There's like a little bit of a love story in there. It's just kind of like about slow living and appreciating things and tea and little dragons and cute things and things that take a long time to do but are so worth it. Like, and it was just what I needed on the day. It was like a hot cup of tea, like in the form of a book, and it was just really cute. 5 stars. The second graphic novel that I read in February was Heartstopper. Not volume 2. I read volume 1, but I'm reading volume 2 currently, and I already returned volume 1 on Libby. And I also really enjoyed Heartstopper. I was hearing about Heartstopper for the longest time, just as I'm sure everybody else is, and I just didn't think I was going to like it, because I wasn't super into graphic novels yet, and I also just didn't think that I was going to be super into, like, the high school romance. I was like, that sounds kind of, like, boring for me. Like, I'm more into like fantasy. I was just looking through Libby one day and it was just there, like in the popular section, and I was like, okay, why not? It's just like, it's short, I can read it and see if I like it. If I like it, I'll read the rest of the volumes. If I don't, it was like an hour, right? So I read the first volume and it was really cute. And I'm so excited to finish reading volume 2 and read the rest of the volumes, because they're not really together right now and I want to see them together. So that was also really sweet. Graphic novels have been kind of my like, oh, not having a great day? Read a graphic novel. Read a graphic novel and get taken away with like pretty little pictures and dialogue that's not super complicated. It's just like a nice massage for your brain. I don't have to think that hard, and I get to enjoy like a really cute story. So that was really fun. Now I'm moving on to books that I'm currently in the middle of. Right now, I'm still reading Heartstopper Volume 2, and I picked up the Tea Dragon Festival. All three of the Tea Dragon books are on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm in book 2. I haven't picked it up for like 3 weeks, and I guess I'm just saving it for another rainy day when I want to read something like wholesome and beautiful. I'll pick that up again. I'm in the middle of Milk and Honey, kind of random, because I already have read this book like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, probably like 2 years ago. And it's not a reread because of like, oh, I really love it, because I just genuinely could not remember like much about this book. Like I would remember some of the poems, but I actually got it because I got Rupi Kaur's. I wish I could show it to you, but it's like it is my tripod right now. Like I'm using it to hold my laptop up to record this video. But you may have seen it around. It's like this journal that's like it's like a guided journal that Rupi Kaur published called Healing Through Words or Healing by Words. And I've been writing in that and like following it every day. I'm trying to write more every single day. So I do like one of those sections every day. And it had like some of her poetry from Milk and Honey in it. And I was like, I have this book. Maybe I should reread it. And like, I just did. So I'm like halfway through. I'm about to start the breaking section. And this has just been really, I don't even know what this has been. The first section, uncomfortable. Like uncomfortable in the way that I'm sure she wanted it to be. And that it made me kind of squirm. It made me sad. It made me want to cry. I didn't cry. It's really hard for me to cry like with books, but it made me feel a lot. I like her poetry, but she's definitely not my favorite poet. But I'm just glad to be reading poetry again, because I used to read a lot of poetry. Like I'd say last summer I was reading a lot of it, and I haven't in a long time. So I just kind of opened this up because I was writing in her journal. So I was like, maybe I should read her poems. I think I'll have some more coherent thoughts about it once I finish the other two sections, because I think the other two sections were the ones that I liked better. Like the healing, I really liked the loving section. The hurting, I think, is section 1, and that one is the one that hurts. I'm also currently in the middle of City of Bones, and let me tell you, I'm so excited to keep reading this series. I am so freaking excited. I am loving the crap out of this book. Like, it is so fun. I love the setting. I'm from Long Island, so I don't live in Long Island anymore, but I spent a lot of time in the city. My grandparents live in Brooklyn, and so much of this takes place in like Manhattan and Brooklyn, just New York City. And I love that setting. I love the magic. I love all the different types of creatures that there are. Like there's the angels, the demons, the warlocks, the Nephilim, literally just like fantasy overload. I really like our main character, Clary. I really like Jace. Their romance is like not the best romance that I've ever read, and I'm just like, oh, I really want them together. But like, it's enough that I enjoy it. But it's not just the romance that like I'm reading this for, which is such a good feeling, because I feel like a lot of the times I'm reading a fantasy romance purely for the romance, and the like fantasy part isn't that great. But this book, like the fantasy is really there, and the romance is just like a little cherry on top. It's not the best romance ever, but it's like, I really love this. I think this is gonna be a 5-star book for me. I'm halfway through. I've got the audiobook on Libby, and I'm like partially listening, partially reading, switching back and forth, which is really difficult to do, honestly. Like, I don't know if anybody else does this, but like after I read some of it, it's like always such a struggle to find where in the audiobook I should pick up. And like after I listen to some of it, if I'm not at the end of a chapter, finding that page, I don't know, just first world problems, annoying, said enough. Also, can I just take a second to show you this stupid, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen when I did that, but okay. This stupid cute freaking bookmark, yeah, it's got like pressed flowers in it and this cute little tassel. One of my friends gave this to me for my Christmas present. She gave me a pack of 4, so I have like, I have another one that was in, well, this also fell out. This one was in my A Court of Frost and Starlight books. I feel like I've seen lots of these sort of bookmarks on Etsy. They're just super cute. Thank you so much, Neoma. So there we have it. plus the ones that were on my Kindle. I think February was a really great reading month for me, even though like not all of this was February. Like Akamov was not February, but it was really fun. I'm definitely going to continue reading City of Bones for March. That will be in my next video. This will definitely be there. Hopefully, A Court of Silver Flames, because that book is a monster, and I'm a slow reader, and I'm a college student. I don't have a lot of time to read, but I'm trying to make the time for it. So I think that'll be there. Maybe Hunting Prince Dracula, that would be really fun to get through this month. But honestly, I might be like on a Cassandra Clare binge, because I know y'all have seen the, is it Chain of Gold? The new book that she released, that was the last book in the Last Hour series. I know y'all have seen that all over every single Target and Walmart and Barnes & Noble and all the book sections, and it's just like, it's so pretty, and it's 20% off like everywhere, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go buy it because it's on sale right now, and I think I'm gonna like the whole series, so might as well just get it. So I kind of just like want to binge everything by Cassandra Clare so that I can get to that last book and not feel like it was a wasted purchase, because you bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna be purchasing it. Like, I'm buying it soon. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'll see you next time.